Hi, I'm Kathryn Colleen, and this is On Life and Being Human, the short video version of the full-length audio podcast. You can get the full-length audio podcast as well as the article that goes with this. You have links to send in your questions and so much more in the video description, so make sure that you check it out. Today we're talking about the Higgs field and the divine. What? Yeah, I know. I'm super geeky about astrophysics. I absolutely love it. I do. But I'm also a very spiritual person. I study the art of manifestation a lot. I study consciousness a lot. I study astrophysics a lot. And I came up in the world as a scientist, and so I like to see the connections between the physics and the metaphysics. And the Higgs field is a very fascinating thing to me. I'm going to give you the basics here, which isn't quite going to do it justice. But the basics are, so the Higgs field gives rise to the Higgs boson. We've heard about that, right? They call it the God particle. Interesting. Physicists call it the God particle. Very cool. So it gives rise to the Higgs boson, which does what? The job of the Higgs boson, in very short, not great description, but the basics is, then gives mass to certain other particles. So you could say that the Higgs field through the Higgs boson ultimately gives mass to everything we see, which is to say that it is the force of creation of everything that we see. And then other people will say, hold up now, not all the mass comes from the Higgs boson. That's true. Quite a large majority of the mass of things that we see comes from other force-carrying particles, other forces within an atom. And so where do those force-carrying particles come from? The decay of the Higgs boson. The Higgs boson, when it decays, right, it arises from the Higgs field and it decays. And when it decays into all of the other force-carrying particles, which then go on to give mass to other things. So sometimes it gives mass directly, and sometimes it decays into other force-carrying particles, which then give mass, ultimately making the Higgs field responsible for everything that you see. So if I had to point at one thing right now that was the closest thing to the divine that I could find that jives with the physics world, it would be the Higgs field. Crazy. I know. Take a look at the full-length podcast. Send in your questions, thoughts, and ideas. Let's geek out, and we'll see you next time.